What's up, everybody? How are you? Happy Wednesday. It's flying. You know it. I know it. Time stands still for no one, everybody. So, listen, what are we going to do? Life is good. God is good. Your higher power. This is Real Talk Chronicles. I'm your host, Bill Forster, with my co host, Kevin Branzetti. And we come to you every Wednesday and we talk about the stuff that you want to talk about, you know, always keeping it real. With that being said, the show is sponsored by Ingram Taxes, Soft Illusions Art Gallery. It's also sponsored by Melba Wilson's Restaurant, Leon Ellis Restaurant, Harlem Underground. On Harlem Underground, you get it online, underground.com. You can get his clothing. Also, too, you can get Reggie Wells quality speakers. Those are the thing. Hey, Marlene, how are you? Mark, what's going on? Exactly, car dude. Hey, Lorraine, what's happening, everybody? Yeah, that was my nickname, Kev. The other day, they called me car dude because Allison. I was in the car traveling up on the highway, and Allison and Malika was holding it down, so they was calling me car dude. So, how you doing today, man?
No, I'm doing well. I'm doing well, thank you. You've been called worse things. Car dude's not bad.
Yeah. I'll own it. I'll take it. You know what I'm saying? Hey, so much stuff to talk about. Um, where do we start? Did you hear about the individual, that the man that got shot in the back by the officers because they were in an unmarked car, and he I guess he ran and they shot him in the back. Then there was, I think, a little road rage incident where somebody shot through the back of a car, and they were saying that they got into some kind of verbal thing, but you shooting through the back of a car, Kev, as much as we talk about good officers, and this is going back to talking about the young man that got shot, I think the 60 times, and we talked about fleeing. Now, it's under my interpretation, my impression, that these officers thought that this individual was in the commission of a crime and he was fleeing. So they shot. I don't know if you could find it and pull it up.
The video again?
Huh?
The video?
Yeah. I mean, I think they have the footage of the man running and the officer
We watched the video. We showed it last week.
No, not that one. The new one
Which one?
I'm just talking about. I forgot. Does anybody know the name of the individual I'm talking about? They had a press conference today. I think you might, if you like look at it, unmarked officers in unmarked vehicles shoots unarmed suspect, unarmed individual.
Not New York City, though.
No, it wasn't New York City. The thing too, we always have to keep in. Like when we talk about these issues, not a lot of this comes out of New York. That's a good thing.
A big incident once a decade. Like if you look back, it's like once a. We haven't had a lot.
With the last severe incident that we had, and I mean we've had incidents where people got maybe kicked in the face and stuff like that, but nothing to the magnitude of death. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing to the magnitude.
Is this guy unarmed?
Yes. Yes, he's an unarmed individual. Shout out to everybody watching. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Listen, August is right here. We had an awesome brunch party for those that didn't make it. We do that. Let me just give you the rundown while Kevin is looking at, unless Kevin has something else he wants to talk about. But the first Monday of the month, we have Assemblyman Al Taylor. We'll talk with Al Taylor. The second Monday of the month, we have Dr. Marilyn Corder. I guess we really gonna have to ask her about this monkeypox and all this other stuff. Like, this is crazy right now. Another variant coming out here, throwing a monkey wrench in the game. The third Monday of the month, we have Allison Williams, and we have Malika. That was a good one. The first lady of Def Jam. Allison has been doing a lot of good work. Her and Nige have been traveling and stuff. She's been doing a lot of work. And the fourth Monday of the month, we haven't come up with the thing. Pastor Gray might join us later if he gets a chance, but he has other obligations and he's doing that. With that being said, we have maybe a little surprise for you this Monday coming up. I think somebody's going to interview me, and her name might be Malika. So we just might have an interview of just a real talk conversation on life, my life, I guess segueing into being married. So it might be interesting. Help me. I'm just playing. With that being said and saying all that, how is everybody else doing? Does anybody know the name while Kevin is searching for?
I got the name.
Oh, you got the name?
Yeah, it's Robert Adams,
Robert
California,
Adams.
San Bernardino.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm just trying to find a good video.
Okay. Yes. And then is there anything else? I know you're looking at the videos. Anything else you want to discuss? Because we need to get to find out what it is about when they call about fleeing felons, because it's obvious that is something now. This is the second person. The other individual, gun found in the car.
Some states still have fleeing felon. You can shoot a fleeing felon. We had it though when we were young. We were cops in the academy, but it wasn't just fleeing felon. It was fleeing felon plus, meaning, right? Like, think about what a felon is, right? Like, a felony could be you had stole a credit card in your hand.
Yes.
Right. Like, I'm not shooting you but if I was chasing a guy who had, we knew he had murdered a bunch of people. He had done something really bad to a whole bunch of kids. That's where the shooting the fleeing felon was permissible. It had to be the totality of what the crime you were looking at, not just he's wanted for a felony. You can have, right? I can pull you over for a car stop in places in this country because you don't pull over. It's now a felony. Right?
Yes.
Like, you can't just shoot somebody for that.
I think we had our little private group chat, and we talked about the officers, and you said you saw the footage, and do you want to express your feelings on what you saw, how the officers were responding? You remember
to Uvalde?
Yes.
Now that I watch it, fire all of them.
Yes. Yeah.
Fire them, every single one of them. And if that police department, that city are going to pay, they're going to go bankrupt.
Yes. Yeah.
If my kid was in that school and was shot during that time frame, and forget about it, even if they were shot before, do you know how many could have been saved?
Yeah, bro.
An hour of bleeding out.
Yeah.
Bill, we can go. I've been studying violent extremists and mass shootings for a long, long time. Getting a tourniquet on people
can save a life.
Saves massive amounts of lives.
Absolutely, bro. Letting
them bleed out. I ain't never seen anything like that, Bill.
I know. Yo, as soon as you saw that, you was like, what? He was like, fire them all.
Fire them all, and I don't even know if some of them can be charged. Like, that's how angry I am.
Yeah.
If there was a derelict of duty charge, I don't think I could ever say I've seen something where I wanted a cop fired and charged for not acting.
Yeah, I've never heard you say that before. You was just like, fire, charge.
This angered the hell out of me. I can't believe, because you can hear the gunshots. It is crystal clear. I get if they get to a scene and the shooting is stopped and the person is barricaded with kids in a room, right? Look, I watched the other day, I was watching a special on some other channel on the Pulse nightclub shooting, from years ago. He locked himself into the bathroom with a bunch of people.
Mm-hmm.
So the cops got everybody out, helped everybody they could, isolated, but he wasn't firing anymore. So they didn't come through the door. They took time. And then they eventually, because they realized he was going to, threw the flashbangs in, went in. They also took a tank and smashed down the side wall of the building to get in.
Mm-hmm.
Like they really,
mm-hmm.
they did everything they could to get through that. They took the freaking wall. It was a cinder block wall. They took it down.
Right.
That's not taught in the patrol guide.
No.
You know, we didn't take a class on, just breaking into the side of a building. Like what I normally see over and over again, Bill. I study this stuff. I teach it. Cops, overwhelming majority of the time, do a spectacular job in these things, in these mass shootings, terrorist attacks.
Mm-hmm.
Things that you can train so much.
Absolutely.
You can't. You and I have never walked into a room, seen 30 bodies laying on the floor, shot up to pieces, had to walk past them, and keep going and go get the guy. You have people laying on floors of places with begging you for help, and you got to ignore. Go get him.
Yeah.
He has to be stopped. And then now this incident.
It's crazy. Crazy. I mean, listen.
I don't know if I've ever seen anything that dishonor us more.
No. Yeah.
That's the level I'm at.
Yep. Yeah. So everybody, this is Real Talk Chronicles. I'm your host, Bill Foster, with my co-host, Kevin Branzetti. And
so here's this video.
What's this?
I haven't seen this yet.
What's his name?
No,
don't worry about it. We'll talk about it after.
Yeah. No, I'm with you though. I want to refer to man properly by his name. Robert Adams. Okay. You always got to refer somebody by their name.
Mm-hmm.
Once in a while, I screw that up.
We all do.
Right. Let me know when you're ready, and I'll hit it.
Go ahead, brother.
Make sure volume. Not that I think there's any volume. If anybody has a better video, as you can see, this is a video of a video. Let me know.
Can you
go back?
Yeah. Let's see that.
Now, does he fire instantly when he opens the door?
That's what I'm trying to find out.
I thought I saw a flash. You saw that?
Yeah.
Right. I'll go back a hair. What was in his hand?
I don't know, but he's they spoken. I think he was unarmed and everything. He didn't have anything.
Right, because clearly he's got something.
Right.
In his right hand, like you can see him pulling. Like he flashed under his shirt. I mean, Bill, honestly, to me, that looked like a drawing of a gun.
Yeah.
Watch that again. See, right there, he just flips up his shirt, shows his friend. See the way the hand goes in and comes up?
Yeah, it does look like he's reaching. It does.
Right? I'm not reaching. That looks like he drew a gun. Right? That's that motion. That was a. Right. Again, let's shows his friend something, like showing his friend that right side. That's where his hand goes, and he pulls up from there.
Yeah.
All right.
Hello. Thank you.
Now, but when you were taught, right, when we can shoot, what we can do, after you shot somebody, what are you supposed to do?
Cuff them and then render aid. I mean, you definitely got to call it in.
Yeah, call again.
Call it in. Cuff them, either one, whichever one comes first.
I don't even remember the render aid treatment being part of the training.
Well, that wasn't big in our era. No.
Right? But it was definitely cuff them. It shoot them, cuff them. I could be wrong, and I'd like to ask any of the other cops out there. Was that part of the training to render aid?
Right. I think it's become part of the norm. They speak of it, but it's maybe not something that we've had to do. Yeah. Everybody. So, I mean, what's your thoughts on this, and what did you see? Because that can be a little different. I don't know what to say about that. What you think? I think people are tired of seeing. Let me just say this: you have people of color killing each other. Then you got law enforcement. People are going to say law enforcement are killing us too. So it's like it's a lose-lose situation right now in this world. Because the bottom line is, his motion does look like he was reaching for something. I don't know if he was playing bluff or chicken. I don't know, because what's being said, he was on the phone. I saw the press conference today. He was on the phone with his mother, and all they were doing was taking, like, he bought a new car, and I'm paraphrasing. They were taking, like, stuff out of his old car. It was that he put in his friend's car and put it in his new car, and the unmarked car gave them, I guess, like they thought they were being carjacked. I have no idea, but I mean, the one thing that we do know, that officers feel like, just because you're in an unmarked car, a person's shouldn't have any feelings of fear, when that's not going to happen.
I'm reading through this. Does he actually have a gun?
I don't know. I didn't hear anything about a gun. Did you?
They keep talking about that he never pointed the gun at them. I'm reading through the article. It's like he never pointed it. He never pointed it. Never pointed it. If he did this in front of me,
well, I mean, now
that's wait for this.
No, that changes the whole thing. If I see you,
I'm gonna keep reading. The way I'm reading this, they're not definitively saying he did or didn't have a gun. They're just saying he didn't point the gun directly at the officer.
Yeah, definitely, because the bottom line is that's a different thing. I mean, you can play it again if you want to.
Well, I'm gonna find a different article, because that article did not say it. So, like I said, it danced around it, and the way it danced around it, I'm kind of looking at it as this.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there's other videos.
You got other videos?
Yeah, give me a moment.
Everybody, this is Real Talk Chronicles. I'm your host, Bill Forster, with Kevin Granzetti. The show is sponsored by Ingram Taxes, Deadly Arts of Survival magazine, #1 martial arts magazine in the country. You can get it on Amazon. Melba Wilson's restaurant, 114th Street.
Oh, he had a gun, Bill.
He did?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I gotta be honest with you. This is good shooting.
Okay, let's see it. Let's see it.
Let's. Give me a second to share.
Yeah. So then I think the family's thing is just the fact that he I don't know.
He didn't point it directly at the cop.
Okay.
Is what they're hanging their hat on for this one.
Okay.
And I'm sorry.
Well, let's see. Yeah.
Yeah. And you even see like I don't know why there was no volume into it.
Rendered medical aid, and Adams was transported to a local hospital.
Scroll back to the beginning. I didn't see the beginning.
Now, it's hard to watch the two cameras at the same time.
Officers quickly rendered medical aid, and Adams was transported to a local hospital where he died as a result of his injuries.
Hey, bro, you're gonna be okay, man. Hey, you're gonna be okay. Stay with me, okay? You got a minute?
Putting a tourniquet on him.
Do you think the trauma gets through the next unit?
The second subject was taken into custody.
Now, the one thing we got to go back and look at is the time frame.
Adams' gun,
Yeah.
a black 9mm Taurus G3C with a round in the chamber and 10 rounds in the magazine, was recovered at the scene.
Hang on.
Hey guys, we are giving.
I gotta.
Yeah, play that again for everybody to make sure everybody could get some clarity on this.
Yeah, it's just like the thing you sent out the other day. Hang on, I want to pause this and go back to the beginning because I'm gonna watch this a couple of times because I want to pay attention to each camera. Yeah. Okay, I want to go back to the beginning. I want to see. It looks like when he goes between cars, he turns around. Like you see that little quick.
Yes.
All right, a little. So he shoots there. Fine. Like he got out of the car, the guy standing there with the gun, and that's what they're going there for too. That's what the call's for. That kid, Mr. Adams, whatever his name is, even showed off his gun to his friend beforehand. Now, that's 20:05:21. I want to see when the tourniquet, like he's putting the tourniquet on. I can't tell because they got rid of the clock's missing. 20:07. So within the first 2 minutes, he's rendering aid. Then tourniquet's more than just.
Yeah. I mean,
we didn't have you and I didn't have tourniquets.
Yeah, that's a good shooting, bro. That's a good shooting.
Yeah, and like I said, they're. If the world thinks it's not video games, it's not TV, we do not have to wait for them to shoot at us before we can fire at them, to point it at my face. I got to tell you, I think those cops' reflexes were done. I wish he was in Uvalde.
You wish what?
I wish he was in Uvalde.
Yeah, right.
Mm-hmm. Or this kid in the mall from the other day.
Yeah.
Right? You saw that with the 22-year-old kid who shot the mall shooter.
Oh, yeah. What do you think about that, Kevin?
I think that was spectacular. Now, also think about that. So the mall shooter, high-powered weapon, large. This guy's got a handgun. 22 years old, untrained. Standing there, saw it happening, pulled out his gun, blew the kid away.
So, I mean, good shooting in the sense that he helped. But the thing is, I mean, not trained, like you said, but he must play a lot of hunting or something.
Yeah, he's definitely an avid shooter. He's into it. He's into guns. The funny part is, it's against the mall rules to have a gun.
Yeah, but
right. So the mall makes it. I was intrigued with how they were going to treat that, because the mall's rules are you can't. They don't allow you to have a gun on premise. If you're licensed or not, they don't allow it. So he is a gun carrying guy. I won't call it illegally, right? He's breaking mall rules. That's not a law.
Yeah, I don't think we give a damn about moral rules, do we?
No, I'm with you. I don't give a damn about moral rules either. But it's intriguing that, could he have been charged because he shouldn't have had a gun there?
Oh, like Stefania just said too. No, we didn't discuss the Sesame fiasco. What did you think about that?
I watched the one video on the post. Is there a longer video? I saw him, like kind of brush off and walk past them. In the article, it says then he walks next kid and he hugs the next kid, a white kid. Is there a video of that?
Well, the one thing I do know is that he hugged a white kid before that, and then he went to talk to the kids, went to reach out to him and touch him.
If it's the end of his shift, right? They're very quick with their shifts because let me finish.
Come on,
I know you got your face. No. Look, Bill, you and I are going to grab every kid, but if it's the end of his shift and then he was turning it and he disappeared and left, I don't have a problem with it. If he stayed out there, I have a tremendous problem with it.
So it's all about if he was getting off or he was still on.
If he's done, like they go out. You ever go to Disney or these places? The characters have a certain time limit. It's 90 degrees. It's humid. The costume is hot as hell. They give them a set time limit. You're out there for 15 minutes. 15 minutes goes ding. They turn around and they're done. Line or no line. There's usually an escort for them, and the escort handles that and just tells you we're sorry, we're done with thing. This to me looked more like a parade, and I think he probably finished it. But yeah, so Curtis just put in there yes, but they edited. Who edited?
Well,
I like to see the whole thing. We should be showing the whole thing.
Do you have it? Can you get it?
No, I'm asking. I haven't looked for it. I'm going to look for it as we're talking.
Yeah, I know. The one thing, shout out to everybody chiming in. I'm multitasking. I'm sorry. But with that being said, this situation is crazy. If you're saying that because of his end of tour that he can not touch another kid. I mean, the bottom line, that's his job to entertain the children. So I mean, let's first just say that white, black, Spanish, whatever kids are out there, adults, but basically the kids, he's there for the children. With that being said, you don't get when you're doing it.
I've been to lots of these parks. They go. I've been on Disney cruise. I've been to Disney. I've been to Sesame Place a bunch of times. They have a set time. They go.
But I don't. When you say they go, I don't understand what you mean. They go.
They after like 15 minutes, 20 minutes, they go. They go inside. They take their costumes off.
Okay, but
that's their union rules. That's their safety rules.
You know that for a fact that
all these places, every park, it's like that. I do this. I got 4 kids. I've been going for a long time to these.
Yeah, but maybe your kids aren't having the ones that have been shunned.
Yeah,
you know what
this looks like I've had my kids getting knocked off line and told no. This looks like a parade to me. Now, if this is a parade, usually they finish the whole parade. That's why I want to just see the rest. So that's all I'm looking for.
Well, let me just read some comments real quick.
Yeah.
Hold on. Let me see what everybody is saying.
Before I thoroughly condemn them and curse them.
Stefania said, "Oh Lord, Kevin, cut it out."
Stefania, my job is also to piss people off.
Curtis said yes, but they edited. Stefania said it was a parade. He kept going down the road. Tracy said, "Bill, I sent you several videos about the Sesame Street incident on Instagram." Okay, thank you. I'll definitely get into that. Stefania said also there are various videos from different angles of not only Rosada but other clearly ignoring the kids, black kids, while they hug the white kids next to them. So let's just call this thing a thing. Tracy said it wasn't the end of the tour based on responses from Sesame Place. CNN said the footage, the video footage was 4 minutes long, Kev. So yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Where's the 4 minutes? Can they send the link to a 4 minute? I'm looking for it.
Well, everybody, what are your thoughts? Do you think? I mean, Kevin's giving him an out because he said he's experienced this before. Listen, you hug a white child or any other child, and then you don't hug my child, and then you hug the same ethnicity of that child, then you need to be fired. But you know what's so funny, Kevin? So you think Sesame jumped the gun and apologized too soon then? Because by your term, what your thought process is, it could have been an end of tour. They apologized very fast for some reason.
I'm with you, bro.
No, I'm just saying. I'm just saying for them to be apologetic so quickly.
Yeah,
you know, I'm under the impression that it wasn't just Stefania says Sesame Place's response is that she was saying no to someone else that asked repeatedly for the character to hold their kid. That's a clear lie. But you know what's so funny with that being said?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What's up, Norm? You got any footage, Kevin? Anything?
I'm looking for the 4 minute. I'm searching. I said, if anybody's
you stuck on that 4 minute?
Well, if anybody's got the after, that's it, or before. It's all. If there's a 4 minute showing Rosita right after them,
if anybody out there is talking about this 4 minute video, can you put it in the group so Kevin can click on it or something like that? Or because but like I said, I think they showed, and then Tracy, I think you know, I'm not as techie as Kev. I think you sent multiple angles of him ignoring children of color. Was it just him that ignored, or it was another one too? Excuse me, I don't want to misquote or misstate. What's up, Noah? How are you? What's up, Curtis Ollie in the building. Shout out to everybody. I apologize. I'm multitasking on this one. What's up, Doug? My man. How are you? Stefania said, I haven't seen the 4 minute one, but it's clear, Kevin. She said no, waved his hands.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. But what we're missing is so I'm looking at this. She's clearly in the parade. Right?
What are you watching that you're not sharing?
No, I'm not saying it's all over the place, right? I can get a bunch of these, but I can't find anything. I'm trying. Anything that goes past, if people are saying, and like I said, I'm reading it in the article, they're saying, that, I'm sorry, I'm reading and talking at the same time. If people are saying there's a 4 minute video, well, it should be simple to get.
Right.
And if we look, I got no sympathy here for Sesame Place, for the person in the costume, for Rosita, whoever it is, I got zero. If they did this completely and they did it, we should show the whole thing. We should show the 4 minutes. We should roast the hell out of them. Yeah, the person should be fired. yeah, this family should get free passes for the rest of their lives to go there. Like I got no, and we should make sure it hasn't happened to others.
Yeah. Kevin, talk to the people for a minute, please. I have to say something.
But I'm asking, like I said, that to everybody out there. Is there, if you can find it, I keep seeing the same clip over and over again. Stefan, you're sending me the clip from the Shade Room. All right. And I get they apologized. Well, like I said, I have seen where this has happened. Yeah, Bill, if I share this one. All right.
Go ahead. You want to share it, Kev?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Colin. Shout out to everybody watching.
I know somebody sent something on Instagram. I got to try to move that over.
The Popular Kids Amusement Park apologized after a video went viral that appears to show a costume character snubbing two black girls. While there are claims of racism, the park is saying the video is not what it appears to be. DJ Holmes is here with more.
Straight, let's stick with what you just said. The video is not what it appears to be. That's what the park says. So that's why I want everybody to see it for yourselves now, to our viewers. All right, so let's just roll the video. Take a look at it here now. Okay, you see the character coming, high-fiving everybody as he goes down the street. Because those two little girls, it appears to just flat out say no, and you see the little girls and their faces and their heart broke. Now, there was an initial statement the park put out that explained what you just saw. Then they updated that statement to saying that what you just saw is not okay. Sesame Street, a place of inclusion and learning for generations of kids. But Sesame Place, the theme park based on characters from the iconic children's TV show, is issuing an apology this morning after backlash from this video showing two young black girls seemingly snubbed by a performer dressed as Rosita at the Sesame Place theme park near Philadelphia.
When he got to my children, he, as you can see in the video, just told them no and had fun with it. And then I had stopped the video because I was upset. But after that, he proceeded to hug another girl of a different race. And to me, it's like, so the kids automatically were like, as you can see in the video, they were, upset.
The character of Rosita seemed to shake her finger no before passing by the two little girls.
I didn't think that there's nothing wrong with it. It's absolutely nothing wrong. And to see other children be acknowledged and you're not acknowledged.
Sesame Place initially released a statement saying that the costumes characters wear sometimes make it difficult for them to see, adding the Rosita performer did not intentionally ignore the girls and is devastated about the misunderstanding. But that statement wasn't good enough for many on social media who expressed outrage. One user writing, "Nothing can undo how these babies were made to feel in this moment. The looks on their faces are so heartbreaking." Singer Kelly Rowland helped draw attention to the issue, speaking about the video on her Instagram.
And did you see that baby's face at the end, the little one with the pink on? She deserves an explanation.
Now, other parents are sharing their own videos that they say show similar instances of their children being treated rudely compared to others, all seeming to show similar bias by characters at the park.
He's saying it's the children. And the job with the character is to bring joy to the kids and to, acknowledge stuff. And I'm kind of happy that it went around because now it brings light to the situation that we shouldn't have anyway.
As a result, Sesame Place has issued a second statement saying that they are committed to making this right, adding they will conduct training for our employees so they better understand, recognize, and deliver an inclusive, equitable, and entertaining experience for our guests. You all, in that initial statement, they also explained that the character was actually waving off a family that wanted them to take a picture with the baby, which characters aren't allowed to do. That was a part of the explanation as well. Look, the family and their attorney are going to have a press conference here in New York today. But the little girl's 6 years old. I mean, no matter where you come down on interpretation, the little hearts were broken.
Yeah.
And the girls were so sad. They said they actually got counseling for the girls right now. They've just been surrounded by family with the support now. So we just want to.
Like, there's so much you couldn't see, but you got your training. You just help them see. That would be all the training you need.
That's a part. But again, I try to get away from the outrage and interpretation. Any human being can see that and see that something happened there in those little.
You can see it in the little girl's face. That's the end of the day.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So, Kev, what do you think from what you saw now?
So I got to ask you something on that. Do you think, like, she said that the mother's now taking them to counseling?
Mm-hmm. Well, we know that's a business. Well, you know the bottom line. We know that's about money. We know that's about money.
I just wanted to be clear. So, but this is what makes me.
But listen to the winners, Kevin. In what world we live in? What world we live in? You don't capitalize on the situations, 3/4, disabilities, anything. So we can't get mad at people to teach, because people teach you how to play the game. That don't get mad at them for playing it. You know what I'm trying to say? Yeah. She's going to do what she's supposed to do. She's taking her kids to counseling. She's going to her kids counseling because now Big Bird and all these other little animals, puppets and Muppets disrespected her. And now the child is feeling a certain way because, she's feeling ostracized. Listen, I'm not mad at it. To the winner goes the spoil, B. But what I have a problem is it's your job to touch kids. Like you said, you were upset. And I'm just going to go equate to, you were upset how those officers didn't go save lives. They didn't know what ethnicity those lives are in there. They just didn't save lives.
Yeah,
that's that damn Muppet's job to save lives. And then that's just what they just supposed to do. Touch the kids. All you gotta do is touch the kids in that hot ass suit. I don't care. You're getting paid to touch some kids. Touch some damn kids. And I'm talking in a loving faction. Yeah. Thoughts, comments, anybody? Exactly. Stefania says, exactly, Bill. You got to fight the right way. Okay, period. Pain and suffering. Cut the check. I sent y'all all the stuff via IG and F-Book. Vera with the wonderful last name. They cut the video short. There was another kid just past them, and they got a high five. Stefania, the same ass excuse is clearly a lie.
I know Stefania.
Just imagine if she was on the other foot. Kevin, I don't blame you, but this is horrible. Kevin, well, go ahead, Kevin. Explain.
I'm going to go with this one. I'm not 100% there yet. So the Instagram thing, it won't let me copy the link to send to my laptop. So I'm having an issue with that. So I can only watch it on my phone. And yeah, there was another kid at a different point who was skipped over. But again, you're showing two tiny clips of a long parade. There are lots of kids. I've been to these parades. There are lots of kids that get skipped over. That performer in the parade.
Hold on. Let me go ahead. I'll let you finish. But I'll let you finish. I have a rebuttal for that.
Keep stopping, right? They have to keep going. They got to keep going forward. So they stop. They high five some, but they skip tons. They skip tons of. I've been, I guess, to a Sesame Place parade at least a half dozen times in my life. Right, to the parade itself, right within there, they skip over people. So
I don't know the statistics of how many Muppets skip kids at parades. It seems like you know it better than me.
I don't have those stats.
Yeah, I don't have no fucking statistics. But the one thing I do know is that it's their job. And you're saying they're just showing you. Hold on, you're saying they're showing you a few seconds. We just saw a few seconds of a video. Hold on, Kev. We just saw a few seconds of a guy that everybody is making a big thing talking about. He got shot in the back, but he had a gun, and he showed it, and he banished it, and it in those few seconds that we saw, we agreed that was a actual shooting. So a few seconds matter, right? We can't pick and choose the few seconds that we want. The few seconds is that listen, that damn Muppet didn't shake them damn kids' hands, and it's obviously other people are coming out saying that. The other Muppets, and I'm not just giving it on Oscar, F Oscar. It might have been, it might have been every. Listen, if he disrespected your kids and just shook my kids' hand, I would be saying that's effed up. And I would think that you have the right to complain and say, yo, that Muppet is being biased. I mean, a spade is a spade. Hey, Cheryl, what's going on? You know, Tracy said there were statements made from Sesame Place basically showing that they were wrong. That was my point.
Yeah, but at first Sesame defended it, Rosita, right?
Yo, Colin said Kevin, my brother from another mother. Sometimes you just have to take our word. Yeah, he just gotta understand the black feelings and emotions on shit. You know what I'm saying?
I get it. I'm always gonna break things down and
I get it, but
it is what it is.
I think it's great that you do that, because that's why you're co-host with me on this, and you do what you do. You give a perspective, even though some people may not like it, and that's fine. I may not like the shit sometimes either. Yeah. But the good thing is, we're going to find out. Just like you did do your due diligence on the shooting at the school, and you came and you said to me, and you just said it earlier tonight. You was like, "Yo, they should all be fired." You felt that was the most cowardice thing you ever seen in law enforcement, right? So,
yeah.
You
I don't know if we can match that ever. Oh God,
yeah.
You know, Bill, it's always been my thing. I hate bad police.
No, absolutely, bro. Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, just on a humanitarian aspect, from a nurturing point, I don't think anybody that loves children, or especially you're in the power to try to save a life, that you're not going to go do that. You know what I'm saying? We would have all ran in there. I think people without guns would have tried to find a way to save kids. You know what I'm saying?
I've told supervisors to go F themselves for lesser things.
Yeah, absolutely, bro. Absolutely, man.
Right? Like, come on. Could you never in 100 years could I imagine sitting there?
Jay Burnett said, Kevin, he said, when you were there, when you were paying attention, were you paying attention to see if the kids of color were being ignored? Probably not. You were not looking for that, and I understand that. People don't believe black folks, and there are many examples of that. What's your take on that?
Jay, I don't doubt it happens, and I don't doubt there are racist things in this world and racist people. I'm just looking at that video and giving you my opinion, because the video is short. That's it. And I've been there. Do I watch other kids and measure out? No, I'd love to go there one day and do that. Well, I wish I would a month ago and did it. I'm watching my own kids. Right? Like, that place is so packed and it's mayhem. You got little toddlers running around. I ain't watching anybody else's kids. I'm watching mine. Like I said, have my kids been disappointed at Disney, at Sesame Place?
Kev, keep talking. Kev, keep talking and you speak. Now, I got to say something real quick.
Yeah. So I get it. Yeah. I get it. I get the thing. If there's a full video, I just want to see the full video. That's it. There's two short, less than 10-second clips of two incidents. And I'm telling you, my experiences, there are dozens and dozens of kids that they skip. It just is. It doesn't mean I'm right. I'm not telling you this wasn't racist. Right? Those also understand that. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying we lack a little bit more. And I also understand people's feelings on it. And I hear it. And I know I'm pissing a few people off tonight. But that's, sometimes how life goes with this. Yeah. Wow. And like I said, the statement part, Tracy, I see your things about the statement part. Initially, they defended the Rosita character, and then there was a lot of backlash, and then so they changed their statement. Yeah. Right? So is that the company just falling to pressure, or are they falling to, they did a little more homework and said, holy crap, we screwed this up?
Yeah.
My guess is there's got to be video from them. I would be shocked if Sesame Place doesn't have video cameras. And that's the video we need. Because you'll have the whole parade. And not even that parade. We can get 10 more parades pre this event. I am sure today they're on their super best behavior and doing things differently. So it'd be interesting to see that. It'd be interesting if somebody could get their hands on that video. If somebody in Sesame Place who would leak it out to the world. But at the moment, we don't have it. That's all I'm asking for. Bill, did you see the thing with was the 14-year-old New Yorker shot?
Yeah, that was crazy. 14 individuals over the weekend. And the 14-year on the east side too, right?
Yeah. It seems to get crazier and crazier every single day. I don't know when this is going to,
So let me just read these comments. Norm said, Kev is right. The whole police force needs to be removed. But Kevin, you're wrong about the parade. Colin said, Kevin, it wasn't just racist. It was effed up. Excuse my language. I like when Colin cursed because I know he's mad. No, he said, say it, Colin. No, he said, Norman said, Kevin, how would you feel if it was your kids being skipped over from kids of color? And I'll let you come back to that. Hold that. Stefania said, Uncle Kev, in regards to Uvalde incident, with all those different police forces on site, who's in charge? I'll hold that too. Tracy also said, matter of fact, I'll let you answer Norman's question first, and then you can answer Stefania's. Go ahead, Kevin.
Which one's Norman's?
Norman said, Kevin, how would you
feel?
How would I
feel if my kids? I've had my kids skip the places. We all want everything and for our children. We don't want to see sad faces on them. We don't want to see them disappointed, but sometimes that's life. Have I ever had my kids? Yeah. Sorry, it's life. Can I say I've ever had my kids skip because of the color of their skin? No. I got zero experience in that.
All right, Stefania says, no, not Stefania. Stefania says, Uncle Kevin, in regards
I'm just happy she's still calling me Uncle Kevin, so she's not completely mad at me tonight.
No, but you know what's so funny? You're still Uncle Kev, even though she can be mad at you. She can be hot as chicken grease, but you still Uncle Kev. She says, Uncle Kev, in regards to Uvalde incident, with all those different police forces on site, who's in charge? It was probably I'll just jump in and then you can correct me or you can add on. It's probably the county, the highest ranking county individual until maybe state comes, Kevin, maybe, right? Or
it's the highest ranking person there first, but it doesn't. Right. Once the SWAT team arrives, that SWAT commander, all right, makes that call. We're going in. Now I know plenty of incidents where the SWAT commander has to hit the big boss and say, "We're going in. What do you think?" And I'd like to hear if there's somebody of high rank, a commissioner, the chief, somebody who said, "No, stand down and wait." None of that's come out yet. All we have is the video showing they didn't do shit. But like me and Bill mentioned, that ain't an order either one of us would listen to. There are weaker orders than that I've broken in my career. There are things I have done to piss off a lot of bosses and things I've done that were good things. But so I don't care who's actually in charge there. Sometimes you just got to say, fuck you, I'm doing it.
Yeah.
I could think of a bunch of things in my career where I just said, fuck you, I'm doing it.
I think
never
first
somebody's life.
Officers are not built like we were back then. Good, black, white, or different, whatever ethnicity. It's a whole different animal out there. But what we do see is, Kev, and let's be honest. When we were working, we didn't hear about a lot of shootings of people of any ethnicity. I'm a play cop right now with you. we didn't hear about a lot of shootings of people of any ethnicity, especially in the back. We heard about maybe, we know everybody out here knows the old scenario of, throwaway gun. You've seen that in movies. So I'm not out here divulging anything. We understand all that. But right now, what I think has people always in arms is that the fact that, okay, we're not desensitized from people of color killing each other because we're disgusted with that. But if we can't run to the police, now don't get me wrong, this situation was totally wrong. Dude banished a gun. Listen, you play in the fire pit. Don't understand why you got burned. The other man running and got shot 60 times. He didn't have a gun on him. We got to find out their fleeing felon stories over there, their laws and stuff like that. But now you see how it gets more and more, Kevin, where people of color are starting to feel like, all right, enough is enough. First and foremost, it was brown people getting killed. Then you gave us statistics on that. Then it became, and we've been saying this for years, and I'm just saying this. People of color have been saying this. They said, listen, we've told you years ago, and from the 60s all the way, all that, where there wasn't footage that, police brutality and this and that. And people was like, nah. They changed stop, question, and frisk because they were targeting people of color. And Kevin, and you and I know stop, question, and frisk is a vital tool to policing, but it was just used wrong. I'm a black man, and I told you, but you know what? Don't stop Bill Foster and Collins or Bridget or Tracy and Cheryl. Stop.
Collins can be stopped.
So let's stop everybody, and they weren't utilizing that. Now today, stop, question, and frisk needs to be utilized more than ever. The way the shit is out there, you need to be pulling. But so now, okay, here we go to stop, question, and frisk. They took that away, right? Now you're getting people shot unarmed. Okay, now here we go. We're getting people shot unarmed, people of color, right? All right, here we go. Now people get tased first, and then you shoot them because the taser doesn't work. Now, so I always say the tase, I've said it time and time again, the taser is the prelude to the gun. You know what I'm saying? It's steps. If I use my taser, it didn't work. Oh, too bad. I'll just shoot you now. I'm going to escalate this. Now we got people running, and they're still getting shot. Now, bar none, this dude had a gun, but he didn't have it in his hand. Now, listen, if you show me, wait a minute. If you show me a gun, you lucky I might pop you in your ass too. I have to be full disclosure, right? But you're running. But we were taught, in the movies, I think people have a misconception in the movies. But listen, if he's running, have I chased people with a gun? Absolutely. Did I shoot him? No. So I guess in my mind, I've been trained that the fleeing felon doesn't get shot in the back. I've always been taught. Don't get me wrong, Kevin.
Yeah, I'm with you.
You don't shoot anybody in the back. So I'm confused with this shit, though.
Yeah. So here's are there more today than there was 10 years ago, 20 years ago, and 40 years ago? Right? It feels like there is, but I'm going to argue with you there isn't. Unfortunately, if we up the ante on training of cops, if we did a better job of screening, if we had better standards, training, things, we're occasionally going to have bad shootings. It's just, you can't have 800,000 cops with millions and millions of stops a year. You're going to have bad shootings. It's going to happen. All right, and we need to be better at it and train more at it.
We just want equal bad shootings. We want to see. I hate to say this, but I'm sure everybody of color feels this way. If we're going to be bad shootings, we get it because there will be mistakes. You said that before, and I can't deny that. But we want to see a white person get shot in the back. And how terrible is that to say? How terrible? I get it.
But Bill, I've shown you.
You ain't showing us no white people. Listen, Kevin, you can't show us a number. Listen, show me a white person that's got shot at 60 times.
Right. I'd have to take a lot of work to do the research. But
Well,
I showed you statistically,
the thing is,
every year, more white people unarmed than black people are shot by cops. Every single year. Every year.
I think you're gonna have to, every time we have this conversation,
But
you're gonna have to show these stats, because the bottom line, because it's crazy, because the bottom line is
stats is going to show you the stats.
Yeah. Because we don't see this these cases. We don't hear these cases of a white person running and getting shot at 60 times. Yeah, I'm not saying it may not happen. Somebody might get shot, but what I'm just saying is that we hear more and more people of color. Now, is it the media's fault that they tell us about people of color getting killed by white officers? Is this a narrative that we're going to always stay with? Then white officers would they got a tough hill to climb. Now, are the white officers the victim? Is that what we're really trying to say? You know what I'm saying? Like, because poor white officer, you're out here just doing your job and you're killing innocent. Listen, that man that just got killed and shot. Listen, I can't knock those officers for shooting at that man. You understand what I'm trying to say? Even though he was running, he still had a gun and he showed it. You understand what I'm saying? I can't say that the officer inside the car didn't see that. That's why he came out with his gun. Because we know how it is when we work the streets, Kevin. You're looking to see, oh, okay, what's he doing? What's his movement like? Oh, yo, he pulled up his shirt. He got a gun. Then we come out with our gun already. You know what I'm saying? You can't tell me when to punch you in the mouth. I tell anybody that. Now, with that being said, and Colin, I'm going to answer the question. Huh?
I'll share the screen and I'll show the stats. Okay,
let's go.
Right. So this is from the Washington Post. This is not the FBI. It's not a right-leaning thing. Washington Post are pretty left-leaning. They've done it since January 1, 2015. So now we're talking 7.5 years. All shootings, fatal shootings, 3,100 white, 1,600 black since 2015. Right now we can break it down by armed, unarmed, years. We'll do it all. Right? Unarmed. Since 2015, unarmed, 178 white, 144 black. More unarmed white men shot.
Yeah, but Kevin, do you know how terrible those stats are when it doesn't even compare to the people of color? You know what I'm trying to say?
Like, no, but Bill, your thing is you said you don't see it, and we don't see it.
Right.
Nobody, right. You will never see the front page of a newspaper saying unarmed white guy killed by cops. We've never seen it. But yet 178 have happened in the last 5 years, more than black.
So I get it.
And I get
you know how hard it is for anybody to digest this shit right there, even though they see it. And you know what? It's just like I guess, and I'm gonna take a shot at people. It's just like Republicans. Some Republicans don't believe Trump was wrong. They just don't get it.
I mean, so
how we see this shit, it's like,
I don't believe the stats.
I don't get this shit. I don't get it.
I don't make this. This is not a Branzetti database. This is
no. But I'm just saying that you understand how people of color. You understand how people of color are just looking at this shit like, come on, man. Because the news is something.
Yeah. And I always go to the opposite end of this, right? And that's more into my world of missing kids, right? If you watch the news, young black girls never go missing.
Yeah.
They don't ever go missing. If we go just by the news, it's only pretty blonde girls go missing. I don't know what happened. I don't know what happens to pretty blonde girls, but I keep an closer eye on my kids for that reason. But statistically, more black girls go missing. Right? But the news doesn't show it. So if we went just by what the news shows, it's only white girls. If we went just by what the news shows, it's only black men. But it's not. Now it's just men.
I got you. Yeah, let me read some comments real quick, and we're gonna talk about that. Colin, I saw your question. Hold on, let me get my glasses on, y'all.
Montana's had none. Good place to live.
Okay, let's see. Kevin presenting. Kevin is right. Let's see. Born in 20. Colin said, I always wanted to have a good reason to curse on RTC. Absolutely, Colin. Gotta let it out sometimes. Hey, Bridget, how you doing? Yeah, it's a hot one, everybody. Please drink your water. Yeah, it's gonna be crazy until like Monday or Tuesday. Jay Burnett said, can't be mad at Uncle Kevin. Just happy that you speak your mind and we can have a discussion about it. Absolutely. Norm said, Kevin, there is a movie called The Watermelon Man. It's an old 70s movie that I think you may like and have deep thoughts on after. Cheryl, she said, that mother who jumped the fence and ran into school with no weapon and saved her kids and the others has more heart than the entire police and SWAT team in UVal. They could have never been NYPD. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? Comments, questions on that, Kevin? Go ahead.
I've seen NYPD people who acted cowardly, right? I've seen people standing at an incident and going, calling for help and screaming, it's down there, and not going down there. But to see that many cops not do anything, it is pretty crazy.
Yeah. Colin, he said, Bill, what's your thoughts about the murder charges being dropped against the bodega worker in your neighborhood? Okay, Kevin, correct me on this. I'm glad.
Yeah.
From my mentality, I don't give a F. Yo, you touch me or you touch one of y'all and y'all defend yourself and y'all hurt somebody, it's good. But let me tell you something, and correct me if I'm wrong, Kevin. No matter what happens, please understand, everybody, if you defend yourself, no matter how you defend yourself, and some person develops bodily harm or injury, or even his life is taken, he or she life is taken, you're going to get locked up that night. And then it's up to the grand jury to just find out.
They could have delayed arresting him. That you don't get locked up then. So with a homicide, NYPD doesn't lock up without a DA's consent.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It has to be a court.
Plenty of homicides, active ones now, where there's a known suspect and things where they're not locking them up and they're waiting for more information, more evidence. This was one of those cases.
Now that's just 2 blocks from where I live. So, the bottom line is the neighborhood was over.
You gotta mute me here. Sorry, just jumped.
Oh, okay. Oh, you getting your Tupac on, baby? All right.
Can't stop it.
Yeah, so everybody just understand. Defend yourself. I'm all for what that old man did. But trust me, you have to be able to articulate that kind of situation. So that old man had to explain, like, yo, that young dude might have said, yo, I'm gonna fuck you up, I'm gonna kick your ass, I'm gonna kill you. You gonna kill me? And you grabbing me by my collar, slamming me around it? So he stabbed him up. So yeah, he eventually had to get arrested. That's my point, Kevin, right? He had to get arrested, and it was up to the grand jury to decline, no true bill on that. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. You're a supervisor.
He didn't have to be arrested. No, I'm going to disagree with you.
Listen, I had just spoke to another supervisor, and they told me that he had to be arrested. So
no, the PD does it. Like I said, with the DA's approval. Think about a cop shooting. Think about a cop involved. There were also, it's a self-defense. You don't have to arrest them. You can do the investigation first.
No, Kevin, I think a lot of us are under the impression that we look at a movie, self-defense. Okay, go ahead, go upstairs and go get you a steak sandwich. You know what I'm saying? It's not happening like that. There's going to be some loopholes and paperwork involved in this shit right here. I mean, am I wrong or right? What help me out with this?
They didn't have to arrest Bill. They could have done the investigation. There was no need to do it that quickly.
Okay, when we in the green room, I'm gonna share the name of the active supervisor on duty that said that they had to. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah,
huh?
I get it. You know, if the DA, if you're homicide happens, I'm the catching detective. You're the catching prosecutor. That's the way this works, right? There's a catching detective, catching prosecutor. Detective does their thing, does their job, does their workup, relays the information to the prosecutor. Prosecutor goes, that's enough, take him. And then the guy's arrested. Right? The NYPD does not arrest somebody for homicide without having a prosecutor say yes. So now the prosecutor says yes, you're going to arrest, even if you disagree.
Let me say this. Hey, Collins, don't worry about that, brother. You family. Listen, I don't care. Listen, everybody's gonna get some kind of crime around the corner from their house sooner or later. One day it might be your neighborhood. I might have to say, "Oh, Colin, how do you feel about it?" So trust me, brother. I have no problems. Listen, anybody that knows. Listen, I live on 141 in Riverside. What? No, they stop. It happens. This happened on 139th and Broadway. You can catch me at the Harlem the cigar spot. I'll be up there smoking cigars, hanging out. You know, the streets are different now. It's really different. You know, there's a whole thing right here. People, let me just give you some insight real quick before we get out of here. We got a couple more minutes. We don't went over, but we got a couple more minutes. Be careful for when you see these young people riding around on scooters and they're two on a scooter. Those are the perps that are looking to rob. These days are two on a scooter, like, you know, wild hogs. It's not happening. Listen, it's not, if it ain't Bonnie and Clyde. If you see two men on some mopeds and scooters right now, be careful. They might jump off a bike and rob you. So have your antennas up. They do not care about the older generation. I'm getting this information first-handed, on site, from different supervisors within the law enforcement aspect. I'm getting it from street cats that they have a thing. If they say SMD, they're telling you to suck my, you know what, and then they're letting you know they're ready to rev it up. I'm giving you the best intel I can. Trust me when I tell you this. Kev, no, you know what I'm saying?
It's a different city, man. Think about what the difference in 3 years.
If you hear a young cat talk about, yo, he's my op, that means you're his opposition. And that means you're a problem. They want to take you out. What's happening with a lot of these crimes with these young individuals, they're going on these blocks of somebody that's been shot or killed or hurt and making a video kicking over their candles and doing all kind of derogatory things, and it's so disrespectful. And then they're putting it online and it's just getting stupid. If they tell you like, yo, you and I muddy, you muddy, that means we grew up in the mud together. Like, yo, like we homeboys. Like, listen, the mentality of this new generation, I don't know, you know. It's almost like we need some New Jack City cops out here with this shit. Because right now, this shit is getting real different.
Yeah. Have you watched?
Huh?
It's because it's right up your alley. I was watching it this week on Showtime, the new documentary Supreme Team.
Okay. Oh yes. What Eric Adams was in it. Yeah, Supreme Team out of Queens. I haven't seen it yet. I got to check it out.
It's a good one. You should watch it, and everybody else should watch it. But it besides goes into their history as a drug gang, and I didn't realize how big they were. Right, like they were.
Supreme Team was big, baby. Yeah, they were very big.
You know, look, I went to school in Jamaica. Like I know the spots they're talking about. Used to walk over there. It's an interesting thing, but they also go into a 10-year-old boy who was in Jamaica in the 80s who was killed by cops. The cop was actually charged and acquitted. Oh, really? Okay. Yeah. There's a whole lot of interesting things that it hits on. And yes, Mayor Adams is on there.
Yeah.
LL Cool J has a pretty long spot in there as well, and
I think Nas narrated
created
it, right?
Nas
Yeah,
is, he's the
Nas
director narrator of the thing.
I mean, there's a whole world in the streets that a lot of people don't know, and is coming out. I mean, it's just talking about the whole Alpo AZ.
They were a different generation of thugs. They were bad people.
Yeah,
but they still had some sort of rules. All right, like
well, there was always rules. There was
you
always
could
rules.
avoid them.
We could talk about that. Yeah,
right. You could physically avoid them. They weren't going to go out in the street and spray their gun and hit 10 people because they, some kid on the street said something stupid to them, so they wanted to shoot one kid.
Absolutely.
If they were going to get you, Bill, they were going to get you.
There's codes to everything, bro. There's codes to everything. Jay Burnett said black people are different because they are not seen as humans, period. I agree with that to some stats. Colin said, I don't believe those stats. He was talking about you, Kevin. Jay Burnett said, that's how you shoot an animal, attacking him with 60 to 90 bullets. Michael Vick got time for killing a dog. This is the pecking order of white people. Animals, then black folks, when you look at who lives are validated. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? I think, Kevin, that's what I always try to say sometimes, and I always appreciate you for you being able to come and have this conversation because, all the time we ask a lot of different white people to come and chop it up with us, and they don't want to have this conversation. You understand what I'm saying? And when I call this conversation, I call this conversation of healing.
Yeah.
Because the bottom line is, you can give me the insight. You know what I'm saying? It's like when we talk, Kevin, we talk from four perspectives: a black man and a black officer. You talk from a white man and a white officer. But the one thing you and I have in common is we were officers and we worked together. So I know you can speak for my integrity and I can speak for your integrity. Let me tell you something. You can say something crazy and I can say something you don't like. But the bottom line is you can't say, his integrity was fucked up. I would never tell anybody your integrity was fucked up. I can tell sometimes I don't like your haircut, but I don't know about your integrity.
You're going to make a head joke? Really?
Listen, you knew me when I had it. So it's all right. You knew when I was losing it. All right.
I don't recall there ever being anything up there, but whatever. You can make your jokes.
Well, no, I just talk about the haircut. It's just because I know we always got to keep the balance, the checks and balances of love it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But with that being said,
quick thing is like Jay made a comment that we need to teach this country.
Tracy said, so the stats are just like the news. How much do they really show, and how accurate is that information? I'll let you answer that, Kev.
The stats are just like the news. The stats to me are the stats. Like these are pretty firm. Like I can't argue. The news, I'm with you. The news is racist, biased, money hungry. Facts don't matter. I do agree with Jay's comment about teaching the history properly, and we've talked about that a whole bunch of times. Right? The police academy should teach the history of policing, good, bad, and ugly. I needed to know that before I stepped out on the streets of the 2-8. I needed to understand why somebody looked at me and how they perceived me, because it's important. I had a different upbringing. We weren't taught in school. Right? We were taught slavery. Lincoln freed slaves. The world was happy.
And Kev, what's so funny? You said that is so important. Wonder if we would have taught the real history that people of color were kings and queens before they were slaves. What do you think about that, real quick, before I read the rest of the comments? Do you think that would have changed the ideology and the thought process of a lot of people?
Well, I don't. We just need to teach the truth, Bill.
No, absolutely.
We need to teach the truth. Look, look, very simple. The Rosita incident. It could be innocent. It could be, right? But I also understand why not a single person here believes it's not innocent whatsoever. And that is, you have to know history, right? You have to know history. That, of course, you see it differently. That's understandable. Like, I'm not fighting you on you're fucking wrong and these. Ooh, I just dropped an F-bomb on you tonight.
Oh, Kev.
Nice,
Kev,
huh?
everybody.
Nice.
Yo,
This
did
is
you
what
hear
happens
that
when you drink
shit?
coffee
Oh,
at
he
8 o'clock
cursed.
at night.
Oh, shit. He cursed everybody.
We just went to rated R. Woo.
Oh, exactly.
You know, like, but we need to teach that. Bill, I didn't grow up understanding that. Right? I didn't grow up understanding the treatment of people and the differences. Why? How would I? What I did grow up with in my household, I can say, my father and my mother were not racist, right? I didn't hear a racist term in my house. I never heard that kind of language used in my home. Did I hear it in other homes growing up? Hell yeah. Did I hear it by other family? Yeah. Right? So that helped me form who I am.
Absolutely.
But we really need to educate people. It's shocking. I watch lots of History Channel specials on things, and I sit there and go, "Holy shit!" Like how come I didn't know this transpired? How come I didn't know, who Emmett Tillman was? Right?
No, and let me just say you this. I was just about to mention it, Kevin. I'm gonna hit you with some deep shit real quick right now.
All right, we're 20 minutes past our spot. But
no, yeah. Well, we only got 10 minutes left. We only got 10 minutes left. But since we go, now you understand why there was such a thing about don't look a white person in the face because of Emmett Till. A lot of that situation before that, but then this is where it comes to. And then the thing is, like you said, unbeknown to you and unbeknown to maybe how your family treated your immediate family treated people, that we're taught to be a certain way. Don't look a white person in the face, and then you can't have this kind of feelings and thoughts and stuff like that. And look what happened. And Emmett Till is just the most pronounced situation that has come in that aspect, and people still feel that because that was 1955. That wasn't a long time ago, bro. You know what I'm trying to say? Like the lady that falsely accused him is still alive. You know what I'm saying? I think that broad is still alive. You know,
she's in some like group home or
yeah. I'll let her bedpan spill over and right on her ass. You know what I'm saying? But listen, because the way that man was destroyed, and he was destroyed, mangled, and people took the law in their own hands. And Kevin, this is where I try to say, when it comes to law enforcement, and then the culture has to be changed, because that's somebody's grandfather, and then that grandfather taught his son, and his son taught, and I'm saying us, our generation. You understand what I'm trying to say? So the ideology and the thought process is what it is. And Kev, like just like I do, when we go in those police groups, the volatile shit that they say over just, if you ain't blue, it ain't right, And I don't get that, because how did you protect and serve with the mentality that you have now? Because you're spewing out. Let me tell you something, Kevin. The same shit that you're saying now is the shit you said in the car when you and I was working together.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I say that
got more public.
But I say that with all due respect, because the bottom line, you asked the same question. You said to me before, you said, "Yo, Bill, how come this and how come that?" And then we talked about it, and it made you think. So the bottom line is, what I'm trying to say is, you've always been an open-minded individual. You still have your feelings and your ideology on certain things, but the bottom line is you're willing to listen and sit at the table. That is not the norm with our culture in NYPD. And that's why a lot of people have so much problem. Now, this is it. The people of color have a big ass race, a bigger problem than that. But the thing is, what you're saying is that we don't. And sometimes when you throw out stats, I'm not saying you saying that directly, but it's almost like we don't have it because white people are getting killed more than us. So you see how this shit is like it's just so crazy. If the world is built on hate.
If we had stats on who got disrespected more, you'd win. Like if we had stats on who got disrespected more, you'd win.
Yeah.
I don't get to that.
Yeah.
But so let's look at the last thing, because we're over. we talk about that this stuff should change in the police department with training, with teaching history, and even having these conversations. What's the mayor doing about it?
Yeah.
If there was some, like, we can't, after his term, especially if the first term, if he serves more, fine. He's the one to look at this point. He's new. He's still only 7 months in, right? But it's on him. And he knows.
It's on his watch. It's on his watch.
That's what would make it worse if he doesn't change things. Because he knows.
Yeah, it's on his watch. And the bottom line is,
he went to that same academy.
The fact that he has to, sometimes things ain't going to happen until the second term, though. I mean, the bottom line is he's in a Democratic state, and I heard somebody say, well, he has conservative ideologies, but the bottom line is there's certain things that we have. It's not even, and I hate when people try to act like, the conservative ideology is about law and order. People of color and Democrats love law and order. I can't speak for all Democrats, but what I can say is that the bottom line is I tell people one time, I would have a conversation, because the one thing I do, I have a lot of this. You got blue, you got red. If you put them together, come with orange. But people seem like they have to go to the extreme of both ends. They just can't come to the middle. And that is the problem.
I think most people are in the middle, Bill.
Well, I think
these ends are loud, and we always hear loud.
But I think our law-abiding citizens are in the middle, yeah. But let me just read some comments before we get out of here, and then I'll let you get out of here. Norm said, Bill, I don't know about New York, but here in North Carolina, if you're arrested and the charges get dropped, the arrest is still on your record. You got to get the fingerprints back, Norm. They need to get them damn fingerprints back. Hold on for a second, everybody. Colin says some women have to stop involving their male comrades when they go out in public and do dumb shit. And she's not going home and brought him back for her dumb shit. Yeah, he would be alive. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? We need to understand this. We need to understand a lot of this thing, Hey, Lynn, what's going on? It was good to see you Saturday. The youth today are lost. Absolutely. Bill, do you remember Priest Crew? No, I don't know. You have to and give me some more intel on them. Where they're from, what borough? Stefani said, oops, I'm going to watch that. Stefani said, wow, I saw an episode for my man. This lady was with one of them, and she went to jail for 20 years. Great show. Can't remember. Tracy said, I can't mention the company I worked for at the time, but when I had to go tell my boss my husband was shot, the first thing out of his mouth was, what was he, a drug dealer or something? And then he tried to apologize once he saw my reaction. And my response of, no, he's a police officer. Wow. How crazy is that, Tracy? That's fucked up, right? That's really effed up. That's messed up. And Tracy said, this is why we let the
boss get away with it.
And then Tracy said, this is why we tend to believe in our first response is racism and prejudice, because this has become the norm in our culture. Absolutely, Tracy. Absolutely. Kev, give us some closing remarks. We got 2 minutes to go. You can take it and run with it. We've been out here. We've been talking
28 minutes over, but you can go 2 minutes to go. That's fine.
Yeah. Well, listen. Sometimes good conversation is hard. Imagine if I'd have cut it at the minute when you would have said, oh, listen, stats. And people would have been like, oh, wait a minute, what are you talking about? Boo, Kevin.
Yeah, I got you.
Give us some love. Say whatever you want to say about the topics we talked about. Love.
No, I'm going to leave the topics alone. But this is what life's about, right? We have to talk to each other. We're allowed to agree to disagree. You got to get to know your neighbors, know the people around you. You got to communicate, with an open mind. I will also always tell you this every week. Pick a day of the week and get the heck off the social media. Get away from the news. Recharge your battery. As everybody sees, I like to get out. I go out myself. I go hiking. I take my kids out all the time. We are outside. I will, make sure that that's what works, right? That's what makes it helps you. It helps your mental state. It helps you physically. It helps you emotionally. Everything and above. So take some time. get out of your house, do something, go for a hike, bike ride, jog, but get away from the social media.
Ladies, run. If Kevin asks you to go on a date and he want to take you in the woods, run and shit. Let me just say this, everybody. Thank you always. I appreciate you so much for supporting us. It is so humbling for me to have you all chime in and listen to us talk about things that concern you. I say all that to say that that we are the ones that still fighting the fight. So let's not give up on each other, even if it's 10 or 20, whatever the numbers are. We still got to keep talking and conversing with the individuals and sharing some kind of knowledge and love. Thank you. I apologize for double dipping. I was on a board meeting. I'm the president of my building. So this is the Wednesday that we had it, and I apologize. But thank you all for understanding that. With that being said, we just got to keep fighting and trying. So let me just say this. Thank you to all the sponsors that still love Real RTC. Thank you all the RTC listeners. Reggie Wells, Quality Speakers, Daily Arts of Survival Magazine, Ingram Taxes, Melba Wilson, Leon Ellis, Chocolat, Harlem Underground. If you look at the videos or the pictures from the brunch party, that Thelonious Monk shirt is from Harlem Underground. Also, too, Soft Illusion Art Gallery. Got to always shout out my wife and my mother-in-law. And saying all of that, Monday, I think if you tune in, if you want to get a little insight onto Bill and his whole thought process from the inner city young man to the Real Talk host, chime in Monday. Malika's going to interview me, so we're going to have some real shit. You know what I'm saying? So you can have your questions.
Send in your questions to Malika. Anybody who wants. You got a whole few days now to.
Yeah, you can think it up, brother. Exactly.
DM her with some questions. I got to think about that.
Yeah. You can have any questions you want, brother. Listen, you could chime in. Everybody, on behalf of Kevin Branzetti and myself and all you RTCers, I talk to you sidebar all the time. I appreciate you all. Thank you for the intel. That's Kevin. I'm Bill. Good night. See you next week. See you Monday. Have a safe. Be careful. Stay hydrated. Get your agua, your water, whatever the shit is called in any other language. Just get it and drink it. You know what I'm saying? Good night, everybody.
Good night.